Hi, my name is Jesus Alejandro Martínez. I am a student of Universidad Autónoma del Estado de Quintana Roo. This activity was carried out with the permission of the interviewee when using his voice. The topics that were asked were childhood, literature, festival, and folklore. All these questions were in the order to know a culture foreign to man, which will be where the interviewer who is from the United States. This activity allows me to know things that I didn't know about Texas and the culture that exists there. Well, the folklore in Mexico and the traditions are very different and opposite from those to the United States, and I will summarize the interview and the details given below. Okay, and the next, the interviewer. The name of interviewer was Krista Atchison. It's a woman. She was born in Germany, but in this moment resides in Texarkana, Texas. She was a teacher, and in this moment is retired from this occupation. She is from Texarkana, in Texas, located in this state, and the Bowie County. It is not a very big city. This place is only popular for the water park and the museum vintage of cars. The first question. We began to interview asking if there are any legend or story in Texarkana that is usually told to child and the children. The question was, is there a legend or history in your city that tell the children? She replied, there was a horror legend that dealt with the mystery murder in Texarkana, and there was a movie about it. When I investigated for this movie, and the name is The Town That Dreaded Sundown. Call it, but the investigator mode about this existence was more murders and found that a long time ago in Texarkana. In 1946, there was a gang of murders in that area, and included that this history so that children no longer live the city. Since it is not a very big city, there are not many stories of Texarkana. Others that this and interesting to know that the reputation of this small city has is that of the ghost murder that existed but was not counted. The next question was about songs from his childhood. The question said, is there a song that you were counting in childhood? He told us that she remembers a loved Christian song that was taught to her in her childhood. The song was called Jesus Loved Me, which is also a song that she sang to her children. Investigating a bit, it is a popular song in English that says that Jesus loves me, all children. This surprised me a bit since I didn't know that there was a considerable rate of Christianity in Texas, and this smells like something that happened in Mexico that are included from where we were a little our religion. And the next question was about literature from her childhood. The question is, do you remember any books you have read in your childhood? I started by asking if she liked to read books. She told me yes, that there is a culture of reading in her family. I asked her about her favorite book, but she told me she don't have one. So I went to the question about yes. And she remembered the book she had read in childhood. She told me that in Germany she had read a book about two girls who had adventures that was over 50 years old. The history, I can't find the book because she told me in this name in German, but she told me that to his children, if he had read classic tales from the United States, for example, Cinderella, Little Red Riding Hood, Beauty and the Beast, Goldie and the Three Bears, and Peter Pan. She said S.S. Lewis, who is a renowned writer in United States, and this movie when investigate for the questions, but it's a some book. This is the Swim family Robinson, who is from a family that stayed on a beach and built a house in the tree. And the boys began attacked of pirates. I didn't know about this work, but researching is it a classic in United States and is it a general culture? And the next question was about the holidays. The questions say, what days are holidays on your calendar? For example, day where you no work, how you usually celebrate. She told me about both Germany and United States, and she told me that they celebrate Easter. I can say that the day of interview was close to the Easter, and she told me that they don't usually work from she told me about the Christmas and the 4th July, the Independence Day in United States. This is a very important celebrations in this country, United States. And in Germany, he told me Pentecost. Her surprised me again because I didn't know that those days were celebrated in Germany. In Mexico, there are no days in the church and the Catholic Christian religion. What caught my attention was that in Germany as well, which is why, while researching Christmas is also present in Germany, and from there he told me about the summer vacations, which is a popular for people living their countries. And to conclude, that I learning from all this, to begin with, I realized that there were parts where we agree on cultures in children's books. For example, since there are some that weren't translated to Spanish, and this was a success, and the others there was not so much. Also, on the subject of religion, many similitudes on which in Christianity. This represents her culture, isn't mine. Despite having lived for a time in Germany as a child and moving to the United States, she still the same religion, and it could be considered that she was already part it from the culture of the United States. Religion is a great similarity because they get to have almost the same holidays where there are breaks, as well as when it comes to legends. There are horror stories to scare, and it is not fantasy. Opposite to the stories in Mexico, I really like this activity. I was able to get to know another culture and the similarity and at the same time. Not we are serious. All for me. Thank you so much.